Don't hit the timer too.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Fake Deep Thinking. Just a group of friends sitting down talking about the world. Today we have with us John,
What's up?
Doc,
Yo, yo.
and myself, Eugene. I can start pointing like right here when I say Doc instead of like at the camera, because like Doc is like right here.
Nah, I'm gonna move now. I'm on the other side of the fucking screen. No, you're not. He ain't touching me.
This guy just whatever, Doc. All right, so we're gonna first jump into the Alec Baldwin ABC interview with George Stephanopoulos, if I'm saying his last name right. A bit of a mouthful. Let's just get to the first part. So I wasn't able to get the full interview. I got, I think, the first few parts of it because the interview, I think, was 45 minutes long.
Jesus.
And these parts are only this one's 15. The other two are like 7 or 6.
Okay.
So it's not too much. But we're not going to watch the whole thing. What we're going to do is let me actually pull them up. Little timestamps. And we'll react to it.
What's up?
Marking frogs, big bro Jamie. Or big frog Jamie. All right, so let's go to, honestly, the 9-second mark literally gets right out into it. So why did he speak out? Why did Alec Baldwin decide to speak out to pretty much have this interview? Well, real quick before we get started, do you think this is a good idea?
I got a
kind of
question.
don't,
Why Alec
bro.
Baldwin always look like he just left the gym and then put his suit on? Like
Really?
his hair always just looks like in duress. Like he's just like
Okay.
always like.
Like he looks like post business all day.
Yeah.
I get that.
After
That makes
lunch
sense.
break though.
Post business make more sense. I understand the gym one. Post business
No,
makes
he's
sense.
sweaty. His hair looks sweaty to me. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know
he only
why.
brought his suit to
Like,
work and
The way,
he went to the
yeah.
gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah. Take my gym in there, bitch. Oh, damn it.
Did you answer the question? Do you think this is a good idea or not? Like,
Yeah, I think it's an awesome idea.
Really?
Everything that's going on right now,
sarcastic
the way the world
ass.
going. No, I'm just saying, like,
Because I think it like this seems just so dumb to me.
I think what it is when people
Even
do
if
stuff,
he did or didn't do it, it just seems dumb.
I think what it is when people do
Well, not
stuff
did
like
or
this
did, but
is the people whose minds you're not gonna change, you're already not gonna change. So the people's minds who are malleable or might be swayed
He's
by
just
something
kind of
like
like
this, it's just like a reach.
reaffirmating the people that believe him.
Yeah, but I mean, they're already a lost cause as far as
I don't know. That's just
he's
it.
concerned.
To
I'm
me,
just saying that's the only way a PR person would.
it just seems I don't know, sus. Like
You gotta control the narrative. You gotta.
that's my point.
Yeah.
I get that, but to me, I feel like it's too curated. Like watching
Yeah.
it, I was like, dude, this is like a movie.
Yeah.
Even seeing the trailer, I was just like,
There was
holy
a trailer.
shit, dude. It's
The
like a
fact that
crime
there was
drama.
a trailer.
Like some fucking
it's an interview.
CSI, like next week on ABC News.
Dude,
the
just-
first time he's ever spoken. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
And then
Like
he
listen to
says,
the
"I had
music.
the
Listen to
gun."
the
And then it
mood they're
cuts
trying to
again
set.
to something else, and it's like the
Oh.
guy like, "You did what?" And he's like, "I had the gun." And then it like cuts again to another scene, and I was just like, "What the hell?" He's like, and then it ends on like, "I didn't pull the trigger," and it's just like next time ABC Thursday night, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Bro,
dude,
it's
cringy.
It was very-
Okay, so wait.
well. First off,
Now,
you had to separate. We can do this, but to the people, when you watch this, I feel like you have to be able to separate yourself from your emotions because the whole point of this interview is to make an emotional appeal. Like we'll get to the clips. We'll get.
I'm not emotional, but the only thing I cannot remove from this is the humor. Unfortunately, I know this is sad. Somebody passed away. I've been
We got
trying
some
not
hate
to
in the
smile
comments.
this
Someone
whole-
was like, "Someone's death is funny." That's not the whole point. You need to. Anyway,
I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes somebody's death can be funny.
we'll have a conversation about that.
So sorry, bub. All
All right, let's watch the first segment. Like, why is he deciding to speak out? Let's hear what he has to say about why he wants to speak out.
You haven't said much in public since that tragic accident. Why speak out now?
Well, I think that there's a criminal investigation. That could be a while. There's all kinds of civil litigation. And
So you want to?
I felt there were a number of misconceptions, most of it from sources I really wouldn't concern myself about. But a couple that I did concern myself about, where there were these authoritative statements about this is what happened. The sheriff's department hasn't even released a report to the DA yet. The reason I wanted to sit down with you is because I really feel like I can't wait for that process to end in February, March. I mean, I'm not asking them to speed it up for my benefit. That's ridiculous. But I am saying that they're going to do what they need to do, and I wanted to come to talk to you to say that I would go to any lengths to undo what happened. I would go to any lengths to
All right,
undo
that's
what
pretty
happened.
much. I just
Okay,
man.
so the bags under his eyes are there on purpose, and the look that I was talking
It's a
about,
distressed look
talking
on
shit about,
purpose.
was on purpose. Okay, cool. Okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't know if it's being fair. Like when I was watching this, I had my guard up the entire time.
Me too.
Because, dude, there's a point where he turns on the waterworks, and I was just like, "Yo."
But did water drip?
Like, yeah, no, he's
He cried.
He's
He
an
teared up.
actor.
That's a good
Like,
question though. Like,
Did water
like,
drip?
there's
what do you mean by
the entire
drip?
time,
Like his
you're
eyes
an
got
actor, bro.
watery.
Man, I ain't with that Kyle Rittenhouse crying. That guy.
This guy.
I'm just saying. But nah, yeah, bro. I need tears. I need.
Here, let's
tears
skip to
hit
that.
the
Let's skip to
He
that real
brings
quick.
him. He brings him like the second time he starts crying. There's two phases, and like the
Did he
first
touch
phase,
his eye?
Yes.
yes, the first phase, he straight up like he gives like a cue, like a hand cue, and then he immediately does this, and he starts crying, and we're just like, what the fuck?
Here, let's skip to that real
It's
quick.
not
I think
that
it was
big,
around
just
the.
for, like, he touches
Well, I
his
put
face.
1508 Ian, but I think it's around the 14. I think you know where it is, where he starts crying. But the reason why he starts crying is because it's
Nah, it's not that. It's like in the middle of this one
right there. Look, like where he touched himself.
for making movies. That's the second time. No, that's the second one.
Sorry. You know, people, they have their dreams.
Oh.
No matter how old you are, you have your dreams.
Hey, son, please. Can you pause this shit? This is wild.
Because he makes it
I
about
can't-
himself,
no,
and
I
it's
can't.
wild.
My body physically cannot take him. I cannot watch that. Like, for him to come fresh out to cry, it's like, the way I visualize it is almost like basketball moves. I'm not going to lie to you. It's like, hezzy, hit him, and it's like cry, hit him with inspirational quote right after. It's like, what? Why is it so like
So okay, this may be a larger
hopes
question.
and dreams already? We talking about hopes and dreams?
A larger question. So like Doc said, and I did too when I watched this, was I completely like detached myself. I looked at this, like I hardened myself when I watched this. And with that outlook watching this, the whole feeling I kept getting was, or I kept reminding myself was, he's an actor. I can't take any kind of emotion or anything he says and does actionable wise, for example, crying, seriously. Because how do I know if he genuinely feels this way or if he's trying to make us feel a certain way? And I don't want to say that and take away from the situation, even though I kind of do, because the first time we talked about this, I didn't want to get too deep into it because what happened was traumatic. Like, this dude accidentally killed somebody. And then now, as he won't shut up about it, it's making me feel like, bro, like,
well, hold on. Be careful. Be careful. The reason I tell you be careful is
that's why I didn't say it, because it's just making me look at him like, bro, what are you doing?
Hold on.
Go.
The reason I'm saying be careful is I made a joke, and the joke was I need to see real tears hitting the ground, not them Kyle Rittenhouse tears.
Yeah.
Not about the case. Forget about the judgment of the case. I'm just talking about tears. When somebody's crying, I want boo-hoo tears coming down their face. Now be careful, because you said the more he speaks about it, the more you feel like what?
I don't trust him?
Now, I'm not relating the two things, but there's also another individual going about talking about their case, and that doesn't make them any less innocent in the case, to play devil's advocate.
But the case has already happened. I don't want to get into that, but I feel like it's a false equivalency because
No, I'm just talking about
this is before everything's coming out.
I'm talking
and
about
at
him
the same
publicly
time, it's
speaking
affecting
about it.
everything.
I mean, as far as him, he
which-
held the gun. Like we know he like. There's no other suspects. Like
And I'm
it's.
confused with the equivalency here too.
I'm not
because
talking
other,
about the details of the case. I'm talking
No, I'm
about
just
just
missing
the
your point.
person who is in question talking about the case and being able to talk about it.
Well, either way, I told you before, I don't like it either.
No, I agree, but I'm saying you not liking it there. To play devil's advocate, if he feels like he's innocent, he should be able to speak on it
sure.
as much as, and so that's what I'm saying.
But it looks bad though.
It looks horrible. Yeah, it looks horrible. But he should be able to speak
Yeah,
about it.
I'm not saying he can't speak about it. I'm saying he's dumb for doing it.
Okay, I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little rough that he did this. I get why he would do it. I just don't know if he should have.
I think it's
actually,
poor.
I feel like he shouldn't have.
I think it's poor PR work.
Because he kind of, the first few seconds, this is what people, so I watched Viva Frei, and he pointed out that in a previous clip, I don't have it up here, he actually stopped in the middle of the road because some journalists were following him, and he said, like, him and Helena, if I'm saying her name right, we're friends, I knew her later, we're friends, blah, 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 this, blah, blah, that.
Ooh.
And he says, the girl
Helena.
he shot.
Oh,
the woman he killed.
Okay.
And then at marker 522, he pretty much admits that the first time he met Helena was this movie. So it's clearly him. That's why this bothers me, because it's like everyone knows, and I think that's a good example, that Alec Baldwin's a narcissist. And so this entire interview is him trying to control.
I thought you just said we got to do this by unbiased. Is narcissism a fact in this case or not?
Fair. I'm doing my best here. I'm trying.
Okay. You're making me take up stance that I don't even.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Please, I want to get on that. I want to get in on that part of it.
You're right.
Hey, Ian, if you go to 420,
I'm trying to be a hater too. God damn, let me get on
the first waterworks.
Give me some space. No, but to my boy Jamie's point, I wanted to ask you guys, when you said that thing that you have to keep in mind he's an actor, I literally searched my mind for any other occupation that you could apply that to, and I couldn't really find one. But it's almost like he said, actor or not, how do you factor that in? Is it only because of the other nuances that's the other things that's pointing out that's making it like corny?
I have sympathy, and I expressed the first time I talked about it, about the fact that, like Jamie said here, got to feel something when you kill someone. Like, you got to understand, like, he's got to feel some type of way. I completely agree with that.
He
That's
hasn't
why
even acknowledged he's killed anybody.
That's my problem, because that's why when we first talked about this, I was reluctant to get too deep into it, because I was trying to be sympathetic to the fact that this man accidentally killed somebody. That's intense. But the way he's handling the situation, if he's innocent, you're making it look bad, and you're reinciting the emotions of me not liking you. Because I was trying to be unbiased. Even though I don't like you, I'm trying to be sympathetic to you, understanding, blah, blah, blah. But you're doing things that make me not like you in this situation where you shouldn't be doing. And I'm trying my best to suppress that, because, yes, like, this is traumatic. This is hard. So why, if you're, I guess it comes down to the simple fact that I don't like when people try to manipulate the truth. Whether or not whether his intentions are to be malicious or whatever with the truth, he's manipulating it. This interview and him, the way he's going about telling the story, is manipulation. 100%. It's influence.
100%.
I do not like when people do that. It bothers me intensely.
He does take control of the narrative. Like, when he explains it, he explains how basically the gun went off, and he like has all these details and stuff like that. So he is controlling the narrative. Whether or not it's the truth, we don't know. But like,
and he's the only one who can put info out.
He's the only one that's put the info out.
He's doing it
sure, too. And the weird thing is, the caveat is that he's an actor. So like, this is his strength. This is where he strives to be. You know, what he's doing right now. So I kind of just like, are you abusing your powers for evil? I don't know what's up. I don't think he meant to kill anybody in any way. I just think that like, he's just trying to get out of it, and you take control of the situation.
Exactly. And finish your thought. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, if we go into like the video, like push play in.
Ian, click play real quick.
Yee! B-roll.
But admired by everybody who
All right, he's crying.
who worked with her.
Oh, Field.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was just like, whoa, dude. I don't know if it looks like a movie, and I don't know if that's a good thing, man. Like,
it looks like a movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just...
I completely understand. So I have a question for you guys. So you know how we were debating?
Real quick, let me address. That's a good point. Cameras were rolling. We ever gonna see that?
I
like,
mean, do you put out the murder or the killing?
No, I'm talking about the case. Like, for example, like this. My whole issue is there's going to be a case for this. And he said the reason why he's doing this because he can't wait for the case. Mm-hmm. Meaning his motives here, since you like to talk about motives, not to be an asshole, sorry. Mm-hmm. I associate to a level of maliciousness. You're not being patient letting the courts handle it. If you think you're innocent, cameras were rolling, you should be like...
I completely agree with that.
So then why are you out here doing an interview heavily manipulated? We haven't gotten into half of it. I
but we're probably not even going to get into it because literally he's trying to control the narrative, but he's the only actual person in the case who can actually speak on it in a public setting. and he's choosing to do that, knowing that he's
And no
the
one
only
else
person.
usually can. That's
And
why
no
I
one
don't.
normally can't. Exactly. So I agree with you there. So my question though is, y'all know how part of our discussion we actually had off camera was that no matter what we're doing as humans, well, my problem may be I think most people think like me or in some type of way, but I'll admit to that. But when I say there's nothing that we're ever doing that's too intense where we actually don't have random thoughts or like we compartmentalize a lot more than we think we do mentally. Like there are little moments, even if you don't remember them, but there are little moments in like doing a task where you may look at something, you may be distracted, no matter how serious or whatever is going on. You may be at a funeral in between crying and you may notice like a butterfly. You may notice like, and then your mind is on that thing. So for anybody to tell me they're too into anything to not have done or thought of another thought that goes with it, to me is a lie. That's why I said it's not that I thought homie was guilty or anything like that. It's just I didn't believe he was a hero in that, and you know what I'm saying? And it has to be somewhere in between. So with that being said, he's an actor, like you guys said. He probably doesn't even know how not to act in this setting. Honestly speaking.
That's a fair point.
You get what I'm saying?
That's
like
a fair point.
Even if he's actually
That's so
emotional,
uncomfortable, though, but
even
yeah.
if he's so emotional, like I said, he's in front of cameras. Part of him is I'm at work too. Part of him is mentally I need to control the narrative. Part of him is mentally thinking I need to direct this and I need to look a certain way. I need to do that. And if he were to stand in front of me and tell me none of those thoughts came across his head while doing this, it wouldn't be genuine, because that's just how we are. There's no way he's not actually acting here. So it's like, do we actually hold that? I mean, the whole thing is stupid. So yeah, we have to hold it against him.
I mean,
But it's just
I am.
weird.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Clearly, I'm holding it against him.
But I don't think any actor in this setting would not be. I don't think they'd have to act.
I guess for me, it's less so the acting that bothers me, even though it does bother me, but it's more so specifically what they cover and how he's trying to paint himself throughout this entire interview. Like, for example, we don't really have to get into it, but maybe to get the point across. Like, for example, in timestamp 6:59, do you think the armorer was up to the job? And then,
Oh, he ducks the shit out of that question.
dude, play it real quick.
Giving me all her safety instructions.
Did you think she was up to the job?
I assumed because she was there and she was hired, she was up for the job.
Accountability.
And nothing she did raised any red flags with you?
No.
This training course you do, what did she tell you?
She said things like, remember, this is a blank round, so you have to create the discharge yourself because there's no projectile. So if you shot the gun, you go bang. When we roll the camera, you got to go bang and have the gun snap back. You have to create that. She
All right,
would give you
that's pretty much. And then the first time you heard of any problems, 904. Perfect.
people on the film. The first time I heard that there was any problem with anybody in the crew of the film was when Luber said, well, we have some issues here.
Lane Looper, the first camera assistant,
This is
would
damning.
email production managers a resignation letter later that night, citing safety concerns. Quote, during the filming of gunfights on this job, things are often played very fast and loose. So far, there have been 2 accidental weapons discharges. He also wrote about concerns about reasonable rest and housing for local crew with long commutes to the set.
When he quit, now, the day before that happened, we wrapped.
We can
he
skip
came
to, I
up to me
think,
and he said,
10:35, a couple seconds
"Thank
ahead, because then he tries to play another sympathy card, which, again, kind of, like, it seems so strategical. It seems too strategical, which is what, like, blatantly strategic, which is why it bothers me. Go to 10 and play it.
Tomorrow. He said yes, because what I was about to do, which I've done on any number of films and TV projects, was to give more of my salary back to the production to pay for X. And I was about to say to him, let me know what it would be to B&B you guys in a house that's closer to how we can address your problem. I will be happy to contribute to that. The next day they were gone.
All right,
So you had
pause.
no-
See, he's just trying to show how sympathetic he is, how compassionate.
Hold on.
How
You ain't
it's
had this
just-
nigga's cell phone number, bro? You talking about the next day they was gone, like they was gone in the wind. They caught the next flight out, the red-eye flight. Goddamn, the bullet train out. text homie, hey, I'll fix your housing. Will that help you? Like, what are you talking about? Like, he just wanted to say that shit out loud and let it be heard.
All right, ready for the second part, Ian. Yeah, it's just that was really bothering me. The first part.
And why is Alec Baldwin making a Western movie? Like, what is?
He's been in Westerns before.
Yeah, but at this, okay.
That's why I didn't like the end. I don't know. It's just
that shit. Old nigga in a Western movie, Rust.
So I think this is interesting. Go to one, or you're already there. Pretty much he starts getting into like the placement of everybody at the time of the shooting, which I thought was interesting. So go ahead and start it.
Rehearsal, there's some disagreement about that, whether it was a formal rehearsal at that time.
This is a marking rehearsal where I'm going to show her. She's standing next to the camera. She's like this. You're me. She's got a monitor here. The camera is here filming that way. She takes a monitor that is his monitor, the operator, and turns it toward her. It swivels, and she says to me, hold the gun lower. Go to your right. Okay, right there. All right, do that. Now show it a little bit lower. And she's getting me to position the gun. Everything is in her direction. She's guiding me through how she wants me to hold the gun for this angle. And I draw the gun out, and I find a mark. I draw the gun out, I find a cut. And what's really urgent is the gun wasn't meant to be fired in that angle.
So if you're shooting directly into the camera lens, you're not aiming.
I'm not shooting into the camera lens. I'm shooting just off.
Just off.
Right, in her direction. I'm holding the gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up being aimed right in below her armpit, was what I was told. I don't know. This was a completely incidental shot, an angle that may not have ended up in the film at all. But we kept doing this, and so then I said to her, now in this scene, I'm going to cock the gun. And I said, do you want to see that? And she said, yes. So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, do you see that? She goes, well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that. And I cock the gun. I go, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
At the moment, the decisive
That was the moment the gun went off, yeah. That was the moment the gun went off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
Pause.
That was the training that I had.
This is why this specific piece bothered me, because he also just said with the specific training he had, and he's been in the movies for a while and interacted with guns for, I don't know how long he's been in movies, but for years. Now, if you know guns, you have to pull the trigger to be able to release the hammer. If you're holding the hammer and you let it go, that is how bullets are fired. It's the hammer striking the pin, which then strikes the compartment where the powder is, the gunpowder, to project the bullet. So if he had the thing pulled back, depending how far he had it pulled back, if he heard the click click, only way for the hammer to go back is if you pulled the trigger. And if you didn't pull it back for the click click, you still should have the self-awareness to understand that the impact from the hammer will set the bullet off. It doesn't matter whether or not you pulled the trigger. The fact is you engaged the mechanism that projects the projectile.
Also, he just said that he had the hammer. That means he had the hammer cocked back for at least like 45 seconds. You know how weird it is to hold just the, you know what I'm saying?
I know
like
exactly.
Literally, like you can't just, you wouldn't anyway.
It makes me wonder what kind of gun they use, because if it was like a super old like replica or a super old gun where the hammer isn't actually a stage hammer, it's just you just pull it and you do that fucking cowboy shit where you can pull it back and just flick it. That's the only thing I could think of if the hammer would fly forward without you actually pulling the trigger. But even then, don't you have to pull it and then flick forward and then do this?
Exactly, but
he's fire faster.
And he's saying that she kept saying like, you know, move it here, move it here, move it here. So that did he have his? He wasn't doing all of those.
He was saying move
movements
it here and also
just
pull
having the one initial holding of the hammer. He had to have either done it multiple times or been, you know what I'm saying? There's just no way for the different angles. He was just doing one slow pullback of the hammer, just a slow motion ass pullback. Man, come on, that's not even realistic. Also, you can already tell where his alibi is gonna be. He's either gonna blame the studio for hiring an incompetent person, or it just seemed like he's angling towards that, and then he's gonna blame her because she was the one who directed. Like, he has not. I was just the victim here. And this is, again, what I'm talking about.
That's my problem.
This is what I'm talking about. People are not victim or heroes. There's something in between. Like, My boy Jamie says, internet says 45 Colt revolver was what was used.
Yeah, I got it right here. It was a 45.
So, yeah, man.
Do they fire without pulling the trigger?
Well, so when you pull the trigger engages the hammer back, and then it reaches a point to where then it goes forward. With those type of guns, if you pull the hammer back first, it hits a point in the mechanism where it then locks the weight for you to pull the trigger for it to hammer back.
100%.
And if you pull it back and you want to disengage the gun, you have to hold the hammer back, pull the trigger, and slowly let it go forward. If you want to do the Western things where you want to rapid fire shoot, you have to hold the trigger down and then hit the hammer
multiple
like that.
times. That's my problem.
That's how they do it. They hold the trigger down.
The hammer was just like loose, and you can just fucking swing that thing back.
No.
That's why I was saying you could literally had to slow motion pull that shit back. It wouldn't make sense.
And if you had any kind of experience or training with guns, you should know this. Like, you really should. Like that. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to argue that it's not accidental. I'm completely convinced all this was accidental. He tries to make a point at the very end of it. I don't know if we want to get to it. That the biggest question is who put the gun in the bullet, or who put the bullet in the gun. Yeah, said it backwards.
You're like, yo, that's a fucking conundrum.
Who killed Bruce Lee?
Who killed Bruce Lee?
I don't know. You did. I'm just playing. I don't know.
And then he gets, I think, 327 on part 3, Ian. Because in part 2, I don't really care, but we don't have to get to it. I just want to mention it while he's getting part 3 set up. Go to 327.
Wait, did the shooting happen the day after those dudes quit?
Yeah, the following day after those guys.
Wild.
Boy, it's a mystery for real. It might be somebody on the set that quit.
But the thing that bothered me too is he mentioned that the notion of a live round didn't dawn on him until 45 minutes later.
Well, after he
shot Helena, he didn't realize that it was a bullet that shot her. He thought like it was something else, like maybe some gunpowder or like something, whatever he said. Like, he didn't realize it was a bullet. He actually shot her. Until 45 minutes later.
Oh man, what's the next topic, bro? This is wild. I'm good on this. I
think this is the right clip too. This is when he starts trying to blame the armorer, and he doesn't directly blame her. What he's trying to do is point out that it's not my responsibility to make sure this gun's right, to check this gun, blah blah blah. It's the armorer's. And when the armorer will play, we'll see if this is it.
People said to me, I got countless people online saying, you idiot, you never point a gun at someone. Well, unless you're told it's empty. And it's the director of photography who's instructing you on the angle for a shot we're going to do. And she and I had this thing in common where we both thought it was empty, and it wasn't.
So he knew what she was thinking too?
And that's not her responsibility. That's not my responsibility. Whose responsibility remains to be seen. But
there are some who say you're never supposed to point a gun at anyone on a set, no matter what.
Unless the person is the cinematographer who's directing me where to point the gun for her camera angle.
Stop.
That's exactly.
Y'all heard the aggression, or I'm good?
No,
I heard that snarl just come through.
That was the real
Look at the face.
Alec.
Look at the yeah.
That was the real Alec Baldwin. What airplane was it? That's the Southwest Airlines Alec Baldwin. God damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
What happened?
Did you not hear what I just fucking said, face? Like,
that's not your line. That's what he looked at him and said. It's not your fucking line, Joe. Run it back.
And then real quick, I get to extend this real quick. His response to George Clooney. They covered what George Clooney said, and he responds to it. 6:02. That's my problem, bro. He's clearly blatantly trying to skirt, divert, control, influence, all level of responsibility, accountability, whatever. And it's just kind of like, bro, you pulled the hammer back. You said you did. Even if you didn't know the hammer was going to do that when you let it go, wherever in the pulling of the back, like, that's just negligence. Like, it's still negligent. Like, bro, like, anyway, let's watch the reaction to George Clooney.
Every single time I'm handed a gun on a set. Every time, Mark. They hand me a gun, I look at it, I open it, I show it to the person I'm pointing it to, we show it to the crew. Every single take, you hand it back to the armor when you're done, you do it again. Right. Everyone does it. Everybody knows it.
How do you respond to actors like George Clooney who say that every time they were handed a gun, they checked it themselves?
Well, there were a lot of people who felt it necessary to contribute some comment to the situation, which really didn't help the situation at all. You have
Dude,
your,
that's
if
more of
your
that
protocols,
sass,
You
bro.
know what it is too. You know I'm be dead ass honest with you. You know what it is. You become what you hate. This man's interview is just like Trump. The way his interview, like the way this right here. And I'm not negative. I'm not saying it in a bad way. You don't see his demeanor like it's like I don't know how to explain it. This nigga has tried
He's
to
on defense and attack at the same
he's
time.
pretended to be this nigga so long that he's taking on some of the mannerisms. There's just like the way I don't know. He's like trying to corner the interviewer in the interview, but then like he'll retreat to being like a sympathetic figure as long as the interviewer is doing what he wants him to do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I see a lot of, and I'm not saying it in a negative way,
It's
but
it's honestly manipulation in my eyes, because it's like, feel sorry for me, now I go on the attack once your guard's down, and then he kind of pushes out.
It's called narcissism.
but obviously Trump is a lot smarter than this dickhead.
It's called narcissism. All right, keep it playing.
Well, good for you. Good for you. You know, I mean, I probably handled weapons as much as any other actor in films with an
Not
average
Vin Diesel.
career. Again, shooting or being shot by someone. And in that time, I had a protocol, and it never let me down.
Why did you choose in your 40 years not to check the gun yourself?
What I was taught by someone years ago was, as I said, if I took a gun and I popped a clip out of a gun or I manipulated the chamber of a gun, they would take the gun away from me and redo it. The prop person said, don't do that, when I was young. And they'd say, one thing you would need to understand is we don't want the actor to
So
be the
pause.
last line.
So it wasn't the person in charge of guns on this set. It was a past one that told him years back when he was young.
That guy probably also told him, don't let them black folks sip from that water fountain. I mean, you're old. Times change. Shit gets updated. Nigga, what? Please, we spent 30 minutes on this guy. Please, I'm begging you.
All right,
Please.
let's finish out on the last clip.
When
clip
I was
4.
young. How long has it been since you were young? Let's be real. Look at him. How long has it been since Alec Baldwin has actually been what we would consider young? 40 years? 50 years? How old is Alec Baldwin?
He's probably like in his 60s.
I think so.
So 40 years ago, 26, is that young?
Yeah, I would say 26 is pretty young.
What's the cutoff for young?
30.
30?
I'm 30. It's not that.
We 30, dog.
Okay,
I'd say the cutoff's what, like 50?
Man,
Let's do
what?
50.
He said when he was young. This man is a full retard.
Doc, I hear 50. Nah, dog. I think the cutoff
It's
is probably
50
be
max.
35
Once you
or
get
40.
over to the other side, that's when you're old. It's like that. That's the middle.
That
ground,
boy
you
said
know?
when I was young.
So we'll end on this real quick. In this clip, he talks. I think this is not in any of the clips. If it was, I missed it. Then I whatever. But he asks him, "Do you feel guilty?" And his response blew me personally. Play it, Ian.
Your emotions are so clearly so right there on the surface. You felt shock. You felt anger. You felt sadness. Do you feel guilt?
No. I feel that there is. I feel that someone is responsible for what happened, and I can't say who that is, but I know it's not me.
Baldwin now awaiting the
That's all I want
outcome
to
of
get
the
to pretty
sheriff's
much. I was like,
investigation.
wow, what an answer. What an answer.
Yeah, but Jamie's right. He's definitely gonna get off. 'Cause
Off
they're gonna have
in
to
what
they're
way,
gonna-
though?
I mean, like, what if they're investigating him as to what intent? Like,
There's
can't-
clearly no intent,
So-
obviously. But what's the term?
negligence.
Not negligence. Not negligence. It's a different type of murder. Manslaughter.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It
No,
was
I know
on
what you're talking
purpose.
about.
Yeah,
There's an
involuntary
adjective
manslaughter.
before, yeah,
Yeah.
involuntary.
No, they still can't charge him with that. He's still gonna get off.
I guess that's why. Like,
Well, they can't charge him with that specifically because of the armorer's
Because
job.
there's a job that you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like the movie set is slick made in a way that the actor is the most protected. So it's like,
Yeah, I think if there had been an armorer and they were like, "Here's the gun, you've already been trained on gun safety," and he still did it, then he would have gotten in trouble. But because the armorer, and he is right to an extent, like it is somebody's job to do the majority of the safety checks. Whether or not he should or shouldn't like do one at the end, I think, ethically he should. As far as like the procedures of whatever their industry is set, though, like it's really up to the armorer. So I actually think most of the heat is going to come onto the armorer and maybe the assistant director, and it's not going to come to him. But that shit right there is pretty damning, because it's like, dude, I would at least say like, yeah, I feel like terrible, like I killed somebody, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like,
That's why, to circle back to the beginning of this conversation, up even with Jamie was trying to make a point, which is you got to feel bad for this guy. He didn't even feel bad, so why should I feel bad for him?
He's not allowing himself to feel bad because he won't allow himself to feel guilty.
Which makes me like, that's where I heard that any kind of sympathy I had for him just went out the window. Whether that's good or bad, I'm like, for me,
I have no sympathy for him either, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. I always look for people when I say take a deep breath. So I always look for people to at least have a moment of reflection.
That pause. I want to see the pause. Let me see the pause. There's been no pause.
It's all like he's all like, I don't know. This really sounds like lawyer, politician type shit.
I didn't do it. Hammer went up by itself. Wasn't me. Just deflection.
Like, he talked to his lawyer before even going out. Like, all that type shit.
I can't imagine a lawyer saying this is a good idea.
The lawyer said this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
But the lawyer also said if you're gonna do this, you're not gonna say this. That's the lawyer's job.
Honestly, if like I was representing him and he went and he did this without me knowing as his lawyer, I'd be like, "What the fuck is your problem, dude? Like, do you not even know
Is
I
Doc
exist?"
on screen, Ian?
I'd be like, "Why did you even hire me if you're just gonna do this yourself? Like, what the heck?"
No, yeah, it reminds me of that girl's lawyer who tried to steal the phone, thought that little boy stole her phone.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, let's get out of this. We talked for this too long.
Way
and
too long. Way too fucking long.
Let's talk about the. Yeah, here we go. Ian's got it up right here.
You talking about this? Bad joke. Let it go. Let it go. I was gonna say footage released though.
So.
Yeah, I feel like we're still on topic, bro.
No,
kinda,
man.
right? You got a little theme going.
Y'all got it. Them y'all jokes, not mine.
A little theme going on. So. A Texas widow who recorded husband shooting death files $50 million wrongful death claim against gunman. So basically, I probably should just give a better summary than that. So as we're seeing this little still right here, a boyfriend to this. So the guy in the black is the boyfriend, and the guy in the green is the ex-husband. So the ex-husband, the guy in the green, is coming to pick up the kids from the ex-wife's place. Some kind of domestic disputes happen, and the boyfriend, clearly as you're seeing here, brings out the gun, eventually shoots the guy. And clearly the girlfriend of the ex-husband is trying to claim that he was murdered, and the boyfriend's trying to claim it was self-defense. I think if you go to the second tab, maybe the third, Ian, it has the video. Wow, it has the video.
The actual murder isn't on. Like, it keeps
PG. It out, but
yeah.
It's enough to let us know pretty much. Yeah. So. Let's watch this react and blah, blah, blah.
Fucking music.
Oh, there's some details too. He said, I can't get off my property. He probably did.
I'll go get him. I'm supposed to have him at 3:15.
Talking about having the kid at 3:15. He's supposed to pick up the kid and the wife.
I'm going to have the cops. I already got the cops on the way to your mom's house.
He already has the cops on the way to the mom's house.
It's not when I'm done working. I get him at 3:15. I get him at 3:15. I don't care if you wanted to see him or not. I get him at 3:15. If you want to see him, you see him up until 3:15.
He's got a point.
You keep trying to keep my son from me. I'm fixing to drag you and Anne-Marie and everybody else into court. I'm subpoenaing your mom. I'm subpoenaing Anne-Marie.
This is on video. I'm very
Please do it right now. You better fucking use it, mother.
Okay, so go to the second part. So this is pretty much when the boyfriend comes outside with the gun. So,
yeah, if we
bottom see video, Ian. See the bottom where it says see
video.
video.
Are we gonna get them like not flagged or something like that?
It doesn't show it. If it does show it, then I'll probably.
No, it doesn't show it.
I'm pretty sure. I'm about to say I don't remember them showing.
You just hear the shots.
Yeah, this is Instagram, so I don't think it would make it on there.
Yeah.
Show it.
You're good.
Good God damn it! I'll take it from you and fucking
Call the police. Call the police. Call 911. Call 911. Call 911. Call 911.
Oh damn. He did shoot into the ground, but damn, he would just put that right into his
But let me tell you something.
body mass.
Now let me tell y'all something.
Real quick.
Let me tell y'all
All right,
something.
go for it.
Y'all don't think y'all can read laws and just he fired a warning shot as if it was I need to do this before I can shoot him. He did all the sequence was get off my property. Get off my property. Been warned twice. She said you've been warned. He fired a warning shot. By law, you're supposed to. It's nicer if you fire a warning shot. He's done all of the things now for a self-defense case.
This is not self-defense.
But this is not self-defense. If anything, this is premeditated.
What do you think, Doc?
I don't fucking know, man. He got moved around and then.
Because he did grab the
This
gun.
Dude wasn't running.
He grabbed the gun.
Did he grab the gun?
Yeah.
Yep, he straight up grabbed the
He
gun. He
grabbed the
grabbed the
gun.
barrel of the gun, and he pulled it.
By the letter of the law, there's a question here that's actually really important. Whose name is on this property? He said, because he said.
Is it the boyfriend or is it the wife? I think it's the boyfriend. I don't know.
I think this is just an assumption. I think this is the house the husband moved out of.
Likes. What the fuck?
What'd you say, Doc?
How's this have fucking likes?
I don't know if
60K
Instagram
likes.
still does that, but if you like a video, you can go to some kind of tab and it shows you all your like videos and clips.
Oh.
So it's probably
He says the lunge for his gun is in line. But he backed away after. So he still backed away before being shot. I mean, somebody lifts up a shotgun at you, back away.
well, that wasn't a shotgun.
What was it?
I think that
Was
was
it a
some
rifle?
type of rifle because that sounded like
Okay.
a 22. That did not sound like
Yeah,
a
it did sound like
like
a long rifle.
something like that. It didn't sound like a whatever. That sounded like a little pea shooter to me.
Yeah, it did.
Not
You're right.
literally a pea shooter,
No,
but
but
it
I
just
know
wasn't a
what you mean.
bang. It was a pew pew.
Wait, so who's
Oh,
suing
long
now?
rifle.
Is it the woman that he was arguing with, or is it this guy's like current wife?
Who's suing? You're asking?
Yeah, it says in the argument in front of Karut's home, and Chad's wife, Jennifer Reed, caught it on video. She says her husband was murdered. Oh,
I think he remarried.
His remarried wife was
Yeah.
in the car recording the confrontation.
Yeah.
and she recorded him shooting.
I don't know. I just thought I heard him say that
I
this
get
is my
I get what you're
property.
saying. He
If he has legal
based on
claim
everything
to
you're
that
saying
property,
legally,
but I'm talking about even the husband who got shot. If he's legal, if his name is on that property, my assumption when I thought I heard that was this used to be his marital home. They're separated
his
or
lease
whatever.
he might be on the lease
on
or
the
whatever.
lease or something. So when he said this is my property, you can't. Like, what are you talking about? So obviously they've had past confrontations and
we'll
whatever.
see how it goes.
But if his name is on that, there's no self-defense in anything. And then self-defending what? Honestly
Yeah, and
speaking,
the
if we're being
boyfriend was just
honest,
visiting-
There was no what term? I'm trying to use my terms correctly here, but like confrontation going on. There may have been some verbal back and forth, but there was no literal confrontation until he came out with the gun. Real quick, Ian, pull up a tab and look up the definition of brandishing, because one could argue he brandished his gun.
that's what I was gonna ask you about. Should there be a law about not a law? I don't know if there
He
is one or
escalated
not.
the situation.
But should there be a point about the gun being the point of escalation
That's why I agree with you, because at that point it's not self-defense. You escalate the situation by going inside the home,
Mm-hmm.
bringing it out, and then with it pointed saying "get off my property," and then whether or not it's his property or the ex-husband's property,
regardless.
that does affect it. But either way, regardless, keeps going. Like, you escalated the situation before there was any kind of brandish. What does that say?
Wave or
That's
flourish.
the dictionary though. Go to the bottom where it says people ask what is
What is
the
the
legal
legal
definition of brandishing?
Correct. Showing the weapon or exhibiting it to another in a rude, angry, or threatening manner. Yep. Or using it in a fight or quarrel. One does not need to point the weapon at the other person. In fact, the other person does not even need to see the weapon for this crime to take place. Can you
if it doesn't have to be
brandish?
visible.
Well, then I guess it all still comes down to the property thing. Because can you brandish something on your own property?
Well, no, because a guy brandished his weapon and he got
Oh yeah. At the supporters.
the riots or something like that. Yeah,
What
they're at
state
his
was that in?
house. Good point. Because this is Texas. Like, like Jamie's making a point. This is Texas.
This is Texas now.
Oh, here, quote right here. quote, all Texans may lawfully brandish a firearm to protect themselves, their property, and their business, Ginn said. When Kyle did that, Chad Reed advanced on him, Ginn said.
That was just from an article. Yeah. That last
So is he
sentence
gonna
was
get away
wrong.
with
Yeah, I got you. And I just, that's too loose. That's too loose.
Right?
That's too loose.
That's too loose.
That's too loose.
I'm with you on that one.
That's too loose.
That's what she said. That's what he said.
Because the issue wasn't even with the boyfriend. It was with the wife. And you then decided to, because he felt the need to protect the wife? For what? You think he's going to...
He's a short man with a syndrome.
He did look pretty short in that situation.
That gun was half his size. And then he came out there chest to chest. What? He left the chest to chest.
I don't understand what?
To go inside to get the gun.
And the annoying thing about me, and this, I probably shouldn't make this point, but I'm going to make it. Screw it. All this could have been resolved if the wife had the kid ready at 3:15.
Or if they just...
If the wife had the kid ready for 3:15 at the time he is legally supposed to have the kid from her, all of this would have been avoided. But as I think I said in here, either he said it or somewhere along here, or maybe I read it in a comment and I agree with it, she's playing games. Why isn't he here ready to be picked up at 3:15?
I mean, obviously he said he already had his lawyers working on subpoenas and all this type of stuff. So, like, there was obviously But this is the thing now. That ends the child dispute because the kid has lost his father or her father. So,
another question: how do you think the child handles this now when it comes to the mom? The relationship. Do you think that it messes up? Do you think
the whole thing's messy because there's no way the mom even stays with this boyfriend. That relationship's not gonna last.
Yeah, that
forever.
might be pretty hard.
Because that's leverage. Like, bitch, I killed somebody for you. That's what he's gonna say.
Or vice versa, you killed somebody.
This boom. So like. There's
Yeah,
that dynamic, and then you don't want the kid living.
What are you saying, Doc?
Oh, it's just like that guy's also probably pretty fucked up now too.
And also, you don't want
I just fucking killed somebody.
You don't want the kid living with the guy who killed his dad.
Biological dad.
Like what, nigga? All right, bet. That's it. Let's go. You sleepy yet? God damn it! Like, what are you talking about? No, that shit's.
Yeah, that just wild to me. All right, let's move on to some TikToks. Let's come down, try to get away from this. A little
death and shooting and shit.
Yeah, let's
just rowdy.
What do I want to do first? I guess
funny?
You ain't got this one. We'll do this one first. So what are you saying?
Is there anything funny?
John's trying to come up for air, bro.
I think it could be funny. Maybe we'll find out. So we got a clip from Say Less Kazlov. And pretty much he asked a question, women really want an honest man until they meet one. And then let's watch a quick clip and then.
This is from the
right now with the
Rory and Maul podcast, by the way. I just want to, so we don't get. This is Rory from the Rory and Maul podcast. These are the two gentlemen. They used to be with Joe Budden.
So you're saying you want people to know how to love you,
right?
Without you saying.
I don't want to have to I just want them to be who they are. I don't want to have to change anyone.
Okay.
But you have to you got to at least have a conversation with them so they understand the direction they're going in.
Honesty is a loaded word. I could be honest with you, but you may not like my delivery and how honest I am. Mm-hmm. The words I use, how you react to honesty, because women really want an honest man until they meet one, and then he starts really being honest with them, and they can't handle that type of honesty. Or the delivery in which they give their honesty.
Man, so you tell the truth.
You need to
lie.
Bro, he's helping you unpack
this
shit.
This is how men be thinking. This is why I don't tell the truth.
No,
Look at
because if you're begging for honesty, you need to tell me how you want your honesty delivered.
Which is why you have to tell.
And then you'll find out you probably don't even want honesty. So you're saying you want people to know how to love you.
All right. So, quick question to y'all then. How do I phrase this? I'm not trying to be like incriminate y'all, but do you?
Oh, you can't incriminate me, my brother. Come on, let's go. What's poppin'?
I'm not that. Are you honest with girls that you talk to, or girls, period? But do you feel the need to lie to them, or to at least control how you're honest with them, if that makes sense?
Not at all, because, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm considerate of feelings, but I've always spoken the way I speak. Like I have been met with like it can be a harsh delivery sometimes, but for the most part it's been received well. So it hasn't been a thing that I've felt I need to work
Fix,
on
address.
or change as far as I know I have a lot more shit that I need to work on.
Doc?
I feel like it depends. The first filter I run is how much do I care about this person. If I don't care, I don't say what I think I want to say. If I do care, the second filter is how do I do it. So it might take me a long time to say something, because I'll think about it and I'll ponder about like the way I'm going to do it, and then after that I just kind of go with it. Like it'll happen to where like I'll be out with somebody, and I see them several times like a week, and they say something, and I'm just like, that's a interesting like quote or logic, and then I'll think about it like throughout my week and just kind of build a mental case around it, and then finally come to the decision like I don't agree with that. And then the next time they say it, I'll be like, you say that all the time, but this is what I feel about it, and then I'll already have like my argument built. So I'm not much of like I'm gonna say how I feel it when I'm there right then and then, because I speak the truth kind of person. I have to like hear it, chew on it, and then finally build my decision to say something with it.
I agree with that.
It comes with its own problems, man. Because if in relationships and stuff like that, I've been told that I have like court cases against like certain issues in relationships, because I technically do build a case in my mind and then I finally go in. But that's just like how I just choose to communicate, because I want to like be sharp in the way I do it and deliberate.
I feel
so.
Yeah,
I won't just do it on the spot.
See, with me, I've just always been honest. It's actually prevented me sometimes with girls because, like
on the spot, honest.
I don't think about
See,
it.
I take more of Doc's approach.
Like if you, like my whole approach, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, and if this has evolved, and I'll explain how it evolved. Is if you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you an answer, and I'm not gonna give you I just never been one to lie. Like I'm gonna tell you how I feel, how I think. Like, I'm very blunt like that. Like it's gotten me into situations, be it good or bad. And an example of a bad one is the topic of with girls is I was literally seeing this girl stop seeing each other because of some drama. We try to rekindle things, and then she then asked me in the moment of rekindling things like, have I tried talking to any other girls like in that what's it called moment? And I was like, yeah, I just won, because it wasn't a big deal. I was being honest. Like in my mind, I was like, it was just one girl. I'm being honest with you. It's not a big deal. Oh, she blew up on me. I was so surprised how much it bothered her, but I was like, it was only one girl, and it wasn't even like that. Like, and she just. I was like, why'd you ask the question if you thought I was going to say 0? Like, you wanted my answer.
You thought I had no hoes?
like, why would you ask a question and not expect all potentials of the, like, I don't know. It blew my mind. And then ever since then, this now answer how I evolved in that. Now I've gotten to a point where I won't give you an answer unless you ask me the question and emphasize you really want the answer to this question.
I just won't give you an answer until I'm ready.
See,
I won't lie to you, but like I'll literally sit there and, I mean,
it's either I won't answer it because I need to be reassured that you're coming from a genuine place. You're not trying to trap me. Because I guess that's I've realized is because I'm so bluntly honest that I've had in past relationships been used against me, and so because of that, I had to be more aware of how I speak my. Dude, I hate this phrase. How I speak my truth.
Oh my God! Don't please never again. But see, also I'm good at like I'll slip that shit. Like if you ask me a question, but I know you just asked me a question, I'm like, you're not gonna hold me hostage. You really just asking me this question because of bang bong boom, and I'll slip. I'm like, yeah, that's why I was asking the question. Like, yeah, no answer. Slide. But other than that, like.
But because of that, I don't know if it's a good or bad way of me navigating is because of that, I tend to wait until the other person wants to address something. Because I'll be honest about it and up front. Because I know how I am. Like, I'm honest, I'm up front. But I don't want to also address it and you don't even want to address it, if that makes sense.
I feel you, yeah. Also, I don't value when we're talking and we're doing a podcast, obviously. But, like, I just really don't value my opinion that much to when it's applying to other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't need to change anything because of me or anything like that. Just as long as you kind of just don't interfere with me, I'm kind of cool. So, yeah, I'm right there with you.
And I just don't see
Exactly
lying
what I
as
think-
fun either.
what
I
I
think telling
see-
the truth is.
No.
Go on,
With-
Doc.
With like other people, that the exact same reason is why, like, if I don't care about the person, I don't comment on them unless it's like hurting me or somebody who's around me,
Mm-hmm.
or it's affecting us negatively. But if they're like, yeah, man, I like to go and
That's my weakness, bro. I can't help myself sometimes.
do X thing, and I'm like, that's fucked up. But I only see you every 2 hours on a Saturday, and I don't have to interact with you much, so I don't care. And you're not
Facts.
hurting anybody I know, so whatever.
See, that's why y'all are better men than me. Because if I hear something, sometimes I can't bite my tongue.
It happened to me at work, actually. And for the first time, I know I'm getting old now because the first time, my boy, I was ready to march, my boy. Like, so there's an employee, right? And they want him to fix the tables and the floors. And he says he does it on the side. So they need a W-9 and insurance and all that stuff. To make a long story short, one of the managers there came in, talked to another manager, and he was like, yeah, it would take a long time to get all that insurance and paperwork from him. Why don't we just let him do it while he's on the clock and pay him his hourly wage? And they was in my office having this conversation. And so I sat there and I was like, hey, look, my opinion don't mean, I literally started just like that. I said, hey, my opinion don't mean shit. I ain't shit. I'm just letting y'all know y'all can't have this conversation in my office without me saying this. Would y'all pay a contractor what y'all pay him an hour to do the work that you're going to have him do? I'm like, no. I was like, so don't you dare insult that man by paying him whatever his hourly wage is here and not pay him based on the skill that he learned and worked on outside of this place. So, yeah, I'm getting old just like you, bro. I had to, goddamn, pop my shit one time. But, man, what? The world wicked.
The world is
The world
wicked.
is wicked. You give them some leverage and they'll hang you with it.
You saying anything, Doc?
Nah.
Okay.
I think for me, I just gotta think before I finally like do my thing, and I'm like, yeah, it's fucked up. Although my danger is I'm more prone to action. Like if I think about it hard enough, I'll be like, I'll go from like I shouldn't say anything to I should do something, and that's where I have
I can
to
see that
balance
with Doc.
my act.
I can see that with Doc for sure.
I guess that's where Doc and I are different because I'm more prone to like speak up, like be vocal, but not so much
Yeah.
action. It takes a lot for me to be action about something. Like it takes a lot for me to be action about
There's
something.
probably like 5 people in my life that is action.
Yeah, like to the past conversation we had where it's like you can call me whatever name you want. I'm not gonna fight you. Like there's not a word or a phrase that you can say it's gonna set me off. Like I just know, like it's just not. I don't know. All right, let's do one more TikTok and let's call it. And I think this one would be kind of fun. Something a little more not maybe we can make it funny, but a little lighthearted. Which was the Jay Shetty one. So pretty much just asked the question.
You don't.
We can stop it out. It's 25 seconds. So yeah, pretty much asked the question like, tell me something that other people
just what
value
that guy
that you
said.
don't. So if we play real quick.
Tell me something that other people value that you don't.
He has a beautiful voice.
I
say
know,
it's
right?
probably,
That's just like a fucking Hallmark card.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Being understood. I'm okay with being misunderstood.
Wow.
I just think it's the reality. I just don't think you will ever be understood by everyone, and so it's okay. Like I don't value being understood anymore.
Alright.
I used to love being understood.
So yeah, pretty much.
I saw this. Huh.
I guess yeah, the question to y'all, if y'all want to answer or reverse it, like, what's something that other people value that you don't?
The only reason I want to answer in reverse is because there's no. I'm not saying he's egotistical for saying this. There's no way I could literally know what other people value for real and say that they all value this thing. And it's almost like a place of judgment for me.
Well, then I'll
to
go
say
first. I'll go first then. Because when I say that, instantly when I think of people, I think of like,
The vain stuff.
the vain stuff like Instagram, social media, like social medias, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, like where people majority spend their time on. And then seeing how people, like where the majority of people tend to spend their time and express themselves, where you see how people express themselves, not I shouldn't say majority of the time, but very loudly and publicly. Based off that, what it seems like to me, what they value that I don't, is the need to be liked.
See,
For me to answer that question, I don't feel that I don't value or have the need to be liked. I don't care if you like me, and the only people that I do care to like me are a super small circle.
And see, I agree with you, but see, I don't know. It's almost like having this conversation makes it not genuine for me.
Okay.
Cause like, I'm not saying we shouldn't have the conversation. I'm saying if I personally speak on what I think people value that I don't value, I feel like I'm going to give a cookie cutter answer that's going to be something that would have sad emotional piano playing behind it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, what you said is genuine and it's true to you. You know what I'm saying? I feel the same way. You know that. But it's just like the second I come on camera and know that the shit is filming and I'm like, you know, people, like he said, I don't care to be understood. And I know he actually sincerely meant it. But sad emotional piano. It's somehow it's just not really locked in for
the
real.
Production of it all.
Yeah, so I could say the thing I know I value, I would hope that other people value. It's like,
well, if you want to flip it, then it'd be what do you value that people don't instead of what people value that, you know.
But that's what I said. I hope that they value because I still don't know if they, you know what I'm saying. But I think it's hearing all points of view. Like that's always, or not hearing all points, trying to, I guess, understand other people's points of view is really important for me. Like I will sit on a fence until I see the whole thing, and then I'll move forward, or I'll try to. And sometimes I fall short. You know what I'm saying? Like even with some of the information on the Kyle Rittenhouse shit, like I didn't know certain things. So sometimes you fall short. Sometimes you don't do all the research that you need to do. But I think that's always been like integral, like because I don't want to be judged before anybody actually gets to know me. So for me to judge somebody, yeah,
like
but not even the situation.
Period.
Me as a person,
all of it, just understanding.
Just
period,
like based on how I'm dressed, based on like
yeah.
whatever it is. So it's like I've always tried to like really not judge anybody, because for me to, if I judge somebody and then I find out that I was wrong, I swear that shit would be like the worst shit. Like, who am I? Who the fuck do I think I was to talk to you that way, feel that way about you, and then find out, look. So like that's my thing that I would hope people, you know what I'm saying?
Doc?
I don't know. I was thinking about it right now, and everything I came up with, I was like, other people like that. Like, that's stupid. So if you're looking for something like profound, like I just couldn't fucking come to
I mean, not just
something, 'cause
profound. It's like whatever you feel is true. Like
honest,
again,
yeah.
let's be. What's your truth, Doc? Let's be honest.
I mean, everybody's gonna be like solitude or like myself or like my thoughts, and like I do value a lot of that stuff.
That's
Usually
just because you're
for
an
me,
introvert, dog.
I don't know if I'm an introvert.
You
Probably
got
an
introverted
ambivert.
tendencies. Come on now.
I have introverted tendencies. I do, but I think I'm more of an ambivert. That's not being
Okay.
deflective. I'm just saying, like,
Please tell me what that shit is.
it's when
Is it
you
both?
have both tendencies.
Yeah.
When you
Okay.
can be extroverted or introverted, like
I think I lean that
on a
way, too.
switch. Yeah.
I'm very introverted, but I'm only becoming extroverted when I'm in my circle. That's when I guess my ambivertedness, if you want to use it that way, it takes like.
No,
For-
I mingle well socially.
Like
I just hate doing it.
No, yeah, exactly. Like for example, with our group of friends, with Derek, his girlfriend Kim, she thought I was an extrovert for the longest time. Like we were down sitting, we went out to
I
dinner one
thought you're an
time.
extrovert. I still think you're an extrovert.
But that's because you're in my inner circle. Like even Derek looked at her, was like, nah, she's not an extrovert.
She's not a fucking what?
Yeah,
A
like,
hermit.
Bro, when we go out, Gene's the only one screaming at people on the street, and he's just like saying,
Drunk
like,
Gene?
complimenting people and stuff like that.
Talking about drunk Gene?
Nah, man, I've seen Gene. People walk by us, and he'll be the first person to say like, "Hey, nice bike" or something and stuff like that. Like, that's why.
Because I
that's
can be an
extroverted shit to
extrovert.
me.
It's like when I'm
Yeah,
when I'm in
I
a
don't say that
situation
shit.
with people or in a situation I'm comfortable in, I don't mind like expressing myself. But my default is just introvertedness. Like I don't care to go out. I'm comfortable being at home
Son.
all the time. And if I do go out, I usually by myself. Like I take my bike, go up Chattahoochee, waterfalls, nature stuff. Like I don't know. It's just I don't feel the need to go out. Like
If I go out, I'm the first one to leave every time.
to be honest with you, people who go out still at our age, I'm gonna sound old here, and I do feel this way. People who still go out at our age, I think is weird. Like, how do you still feel the need to? Maybe once in a blue moon, like I get that, just something to do for fun. But every weekend, every other weekend, even once a month, it's like, why do you want to go out?
I don't know, but I
Maybe
never
I'm
actually thought about that.
different than that.
But
Yeah,
that's my
just-
introvertedness. Like,
yeah.
I don't see the need to go out like that.
I'm
If
right there with you. Like even I have to convince myself to go out. All my friends know. Like they'll either say, "Hey, you can't take no nap," or "We pulling up on you," because I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
there."
because when you fall asleep,
I'm gonna be there. Oh
dog.
man, I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there."
This man
Meaning,
had plans. He's ready to go. He actually wants to go and do these plans. But
right before
he
if I
got
get
dressed
sleepy,
and everything. Like,
son,
he's
it's dead.
fitted
I'm going
up.
to sleep. I am going to
But
sleep.
once he is asleep, those eyes closed, it's done.
That's it.
It's
Ain't no
done.
more plans. And that shit happened around 9:30, which is early for a lot of y'all. So, like, if you don't get me out the house before 9:30, it's dead. But, like, once I'm out the house, I'm cool. But then also, like, my anxiety will kick up. Nah, I don't want to call that shit anxiety because nigga ain't nervous about shit. But I'll be ready to go home. Just be too many people around. Like, I just always ready to go home.
Same. Yeah, shout out Jamie. Because I agree with you, Jamie, also what he says. He says, I don't value money. Personally, I don't value money either. Like, that's one of the reasons why I stopped what I was doing in my career to do something else, because my motivations wasn't because I wanted to make a lot of money. Like, at first, that's what I thought you had to do. Like, the reason why I went to college was to get a really good degree, to get a good job, so I could make a decent wage. And I was doing that, and I was like, man, I'm unhappy. I'm actually more frustrated than I'm happy. I feel irritable. Like, I'm not, my pursuit, I didn't like it. And so now I'm not doing it because I want to make money. I'm doing it because, I guess another question, maybe another podcast is, do y'all live to work or do y'all work to live? And can you do both?
I try to do both.
You do both, but you're leveraging your youth as you do it. Because there eventually becomes a time where your youth isn't on your side anymore, and so you have to work to live. But I say that to say, even though the money point, I agree with it, I value opportunity. And sometimes money is the thing that gives you access to opportunity. And so it's just like, I understand it as a tool to get to where you need to get to, or to make it easier to get to where you need to get to. But it's not the only way. You know what I'm saying? Talent,
I
hard
kind of
work.
work to live and live to work in the sense because I wanted to build stability so that I could do what I want to afterwards.
Boom.
And so, in that sense, I do value money just because I want to maintain stability. Lately, though, in my older years, I guess now, or maybe not even older because it's still like really young. One thing I have lost that I guess would answer this question finally is my wanderlust. Like, I don't value traveling. And
I can see
all
that.
social media tells you need to value traveling and like, oh, go out and find yourself and do that stuff. In a weird way, I ended up going in the opposite direction, trying to find that. The whole find yourself shit, I ended up going a lot more inward, and I ended up creating things around me or wedging myself into a culture of a lifestyle that made me go like, fuck, why do I want to leave? Why do I want to move over there and like just rough it? And why do I want to like set up shop in another place when I'm working on like 10 different things right now that I feel are expanding me?
I feel that.
But you open a fucking Instagram page and it says like travel, and it's got like a fucking girl holding somebody else's hand. They're walking through the beach and shit like that. It's like, you're only wise if you've ever been everywhere. It's like, man,
Nah,
I don't
agree with that.
Like,
I don't agree with that, but I think there's something different about, for traveling for me, isn't about, I traveled when I was younger. So, like, I always understood that there was different cultures and all that extra shit. So, you know, whatever about that. But there was something for me about going to historical sites, and this is just me being a nerd, but historical sites in other countries where, like, monumentous shit took place. For some reason, that type of shit gives me chills. And so, like,
I agree with that, though.
That was a thing that would be the chase for me. Like, whew, like for example, if I was to go to Brazil, obviously it's Brazil, but to see Christ the Redeemer, like, in person, like, there's no way. Like, come on, like, the feeling you would get, like, or to be on, like, an old battlefield, like, just shit like that was always, like,
yeah,
intriguing.
I've always wanted to go to Greece for that reason, to see, like, those temples and
Temples,
stuff like that.
man, what?
And be like, yo, I'm in Sparta, like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. Like, I've always wanted to see that kind of stuff. But I've never wanted to, like, live there or just set up shop there.
Will YouTube take us off if we try to start a trend about storming the Vatican? Do you think that's a thing that they would hate against?
It depends how big it gets, I think.
Probably. At first, it's
we
can
call it hashtag Vatican, and we can just fucking send people that way.
Vatican.
We got to start this shit, man. We got to,
we got Thursday. They got
this the episode where we starting this shit, man.
Hashtag Vatican.
Get in that bitch.
All right, quick shout out to Jamie, and then let's close it out. Because I agree with this, and I honestly, personally, I kind of envy this, which is he loves his work. Like, I'm excited for my work. My job is fun. I found my passion, and it's not a lot of money, but it's enough. And I think that's dope because not a lot of people work in fields that they're genuinely passionate about, and even still, it doesn't pay them a lot of money. They just love it so much.
100%.
Because I think a lot of us, and I saw myself going down this path, which was I don't like what I'm doing at all, but I'm putting up with it to the degree I did put up with it because I needed the money.
Fact.
The money, even the potential for the money. Like I was in the pharmaceutical field. Like I was lower level, like I was trying to become a sales associate, but basically I was like I maintained the relationship. The salesperson would come in, talk to the doctors, get all the drugs and the blah, blah, blah. I then maintained. I'd come in, make sure the doctors were stocked with promotional cards. Certain samples, I got to stock them with certain samples, certain samples for Pfizer and AstraZeneca. I don't know. So.
Oh, Pfizer. Oh, boy.
No, it was funny.
Ironic.
Well, the reason why it's ironic, that's why my opinion on this is so strong, like, sidetracked, I guess.
Yeah, we getting flagged for sure.
For real. But this is why I get so passionate with my conversation with Doc about the vaccines, because I saw how they try to make their workers feel comfortable with the things they're doing. And it's like, you're hyping this up too much. I don't know. It was like, I don't want to say certain things, obviously, because it's Pfizer and AstraZeneca and everything like that, and I was a contract worker for them and stuff like that. But it's just, it was like, you want me to feel a certain way, and that's not what it is. And that doesn't make me feel good about it.
Certain fields shouldn't even be able to interact. As far as, like, Pfizer should not be able to be, but I shouldn't see Pfizer after every NBA game. Like, I shouldn't see it after every news channel. I don't know. That's
To be
just
specific,
weird to me.
I wouldn't work for Pfizer. I was contracted out from another company to handle Pfizer products. We're partners.
Pfizer sounds too German to me. I'm
Fucking
good.
Corporatism, bro.
I didn't like it. Dude, I didn't like it.
Yeah, there's something to be
States
said about having to
corporatism.
pretend at work.
I didn't like that.
Oh, man.
I didn't like that at all.
Oh, man.
Just like we talked about the previous conversation about me being bluntly honest. Like when I had to put on a persona, a facade, this mask to facilitate the engagement. I did not sell at all, but how I would get my mind into it, because the goal was to eventually get into sales, was how to get the seller mentality, the seller face, the seller quotes, the phrases to get this product. And it's just like, it wasn't me. I didn't like it. Like, I'm not gonna convince you to buy.
Hey, buddy, how you guys doing today? Look, man, fuck out of here, son. Every morning, god damn, I don't care how your night went. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Just go do your office, go to your work. I feel you, dog. Sometimes that shit. Anyway, it's not for the podcast.
Yeah.
But, god damn it.
All right. What were you saying, Doc?
I actually like corporatism, but it depends on how it's used for me to enjoy it.
I think it's
I
because
can
you like
definitely
the
see
social
the medical
aspect of it,
industry.
because you're pretty social in your company. Like, a lot of the friends, especially within our immediate friend group we started building now, they're all
Yeah.
people you've worked with, or at least
Yeah,
have some
that's
level of
true.
experience with.
Yeah, meeting people is always the fun part. I don't mind doing the selling stuff, but there is one thing I learned in sales school that kind of dictated my direction with all of it. And it's that the key to being a good salesman is conviction. If you're not convicted in your product, then you're not going to sell it. You're either just in it for the money, and at that point, like, your ethics are in question. But like, if you're actually about whatever it is you're pushing, then you're just going to keep pushing, and you're going to be a good salesman, regardless if you know how to speak or not, if you're eloquent or not. As long as, like, you know, like, whatever it is you have is solid, like, you'll sell it.
All right. I think that's enough fake thinking for today, guys. We kind of
Storm
went
the
a little, like,
Vatican.
deep and dark with the shootings to a little bit, like, interpersonal, revealing ourselves kind of.
Well, we hit with this fucking Instagram here, and he's like, "Yo, tell me something
Man,
about."
I promise
your
y'all,
life
we're
that
going to have
no
some
one
funny
else ever
goddamn
does.
topics next week. Because, boy, look, my heart is heavy.
My heart is heavy, this guy. All right. Thank y'all for
Storm the
tuning
Vatican.
in, watching Fake Deep
Storm the
Thinking.
Vatican.
Please go to our YouTube channel.
And storm the Vatican.
Smash that like. Storm the Vatican. Smash that like button. Share it to your friends. Comment. Tell us what you like, what you hate, what you agreed, what you disagreed with. Follow our socials: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Like the clips. Share the clips. We see you next time on Fake Deep Thinking. Peace.